Hello and welcome to What's in this week's Oban Times with me, Kathy Griffiths.
And me, Sandy Neal.
Well, ferries. The good news is that the Mull winter timetable for the ferries almost out, nearly finalised. Campaigners who've been negotiating to get the very best they can say this really is the best they can get for everyone who's going to be travelling to Mull and Iona and back to the mainland. So you can check those timetables out when they're published, which should be soon. Also at Kilninver Primary School, youngsters there have got more than 250 new books stocking their reading shelves. So lots of excitement there, and that's thanks to a grand effort from pupils and parents and supporters at the school and local businesses who raised more than £800 and then got a few extra £100 in from some local businesses, and then got even more help from a children's publishing company, Osborne Children Books. So they've got lots to read there as well. And of course, you can read lots in your Oban Times, and we're always very happy to get your stories, hear what you've been doing, and see your pictures. You can get in touch with us by giving us a call on 01631 568 000. Email us at editor@obantimes.co.uk, and you can message us on Facebook. Well, I don't know if any of you out there have got glass ornaments, but if you do, beware. Do not leave them in direct sunlight. We've been hearing this week from a chap who had a crystal ball, but sadly didn't predict what could happen if you left it on the windowsill in direct sunlight. It can start a fire, and it did. So that was a house in Tunnelt, but luckily it all ended well. Disaster was averted, and a little cautionary tale for you to be thinking about there. Not that we might be getting that much sunshine now it's winter setting in, but you go.
I think the danger might have passed.
It might have passed, but always good to be aware, Sandy. Always good to be aware. And also people on Mull and Ulva have been remembering a very good friend of theirs, a lady called Anne Kramer-Jones. She was married to a Salon GP, Ted Jones, for many years, and then in retirement they moved to Ulva, and she became a bit of an honorary grandmother to lots of people out there. She was a writer, an artist, a poet, incredible lady. People have been remembering her. She passed away earlier this month at the age of 97, but this wonderful lady at the age of 87 actually upped and left Ulva to go and live in New York. What a woman. So lots of memories there. I've got some cracking pictures of her time on Mull and Ulva, so you can read and find out all about her life in this week's Oban Times. Sandy, what have you been up to?
Well, thank you very much, Kathy. My goodness, well, that is action-packed. Well, a date has been revealed when the council will return some cut bus services to Oban and Barcaldine following a backlash of complaints. Argyll and Bute Council's leader has called for action after a report stated that 70% of local households were at risk of fuel poverty. Plans by a luxury hotel and golf course on the Isle of Jura to build a 40-bed staff block in Craighouse will go to a public hearing on the island. A storm may have destroyed a 200-year-old oak at Dunolly Castle, but the museum's appeal for help has fallen on fertile ground. There's plans to convert a former gym and a former restaurant in Oban. Argyll and Bute Council have also published the costs for a 3-year short-term letting licences, and they range from £226 to £1,130. All local authorities must introduce a licensing scheme for properties operating as short-term lets.
How much can I get for my shed?
So I think that is probably going to be on the bottom cost. So
I won't bother. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, they're out for you to go and have a look. And what else have we got? Musicians from Mull and Lochaber will be launching this year's Royal National Mod with a special opening concert in Perth this Friday. And we also look back on Ian Hamilton. Scotland's national bard Robert Burns praised the man o' independent mind in his Scots song A Man's a Man for All That. It was a line that well described Ian, who challenged establishments for 3/4 of a century. The Paisley-born advocate still had much to say when the Oban Times interviewed him at his Connell home in 2017. Following his death last week, aged 97, we remember this remarkable man and conversation. And you can pick up a copy of the Oban Times in local newsagents. You can also read us online. And I think that's it from us both. So with that, it's goodbye from me, Sandy Neal.
And goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths. Bye.
Bye.